welcome back to some more gamer treats. And here's our treat specialist, Blue.
Hello, interwebs. There's one thing we know the interwebs loves, almost as much as cat videos.
Bacon!
So, we're here to combine two of your favorite things, bacon and cookies.
Okay, now I'm really hungry. Alright.
Yeah. We have our ingredients laid out.
Okay, name them out.
Yeah. So, here we have bacon, bacon grease, maple syrup, vanilla, eggs, flour, sugar, and salt and baking soda. And then we have some fancy granulated maple syrup for a garnish.
Mmm.
We'll get to that later.
Alrighty.
First things first. Empty bowl. You can't make cookies without empty bowl.
I think the objective is to fill the bowl, right?
Yes. And do we have some fillings?
There we go.
First things first. With all cookies, you start with your fat. In this case, it's 1.5 cups of delicious bacon grease. Use our handy dandy rubber spatula to get all of it.
Okay, I'm gonna fully admit, I didn't meet the bacon grease kind of happened to be the perfect amount that I kind of cooked earlier.
Yes. The voice behind the camera was nice enough to prepare the bacon stuffs.
Okay, to be fair, I think it's like the only thing I know how to really cook offhand.
Gotta start somewhere. Then we add our sugar to our delicious bacon grease. And combine into a sweet, sweet bacon slurry. Can you smell it, internets? Can you? Make sure you have no lumps.
Even if you're ladies.
Especially if you're ladies. Which is why you should always feel your boobs.
Or let any appreciative guy try.
Because lumps are bad. And this has been your public service announcement. No boob lumps. If you find a boob lump, seek medical help. Two eggs. And we beat them. We will use this. You may recognize this from nachos. This was the meat stick then. Now it is the egg beater. A fork or a whisk would work as well.
She just wanted to beat the eggs with the meat stick.
But
technically eggs are a meat, aren't they?
they're a protein, but they're not technically a meat. So now, the eggs are beaten, and you add this to your sweet bacon slurry. Scrape to make sure you get all the egg. And mix them in. You want thorough and even mixing. It may resist at first, but resistance is futile. Okay, so now you have an eggy sweet bacon slurry. Scrape that off, because we will be switching stirring devices next. more bacon. That's anticlimactic.
Honestly, I thought it was funny. Just a shrink.
Addition to more bacon. This is where we add our we start adding some of our dry ingredients. This is the baking soda and the salt. These are our leavening and anti-leavening agents.
Okay. What?
Okay. A leavening agent makes baked goods rise and become fluffy. We're using a chemical leavener here. Baking soda will cause bubbles. Bread usually uses a biological leavening agent. We know this as yeast. Just little critters that eat sugar and their belches make your bread light and fluffy. The salt is the anti-leavener. It tempers the leavening so they don't just rise out of control.
Ah, okay.
Science.
That's how we make it a cookie, not a cake.
And how? So add a teaspoon of vanilla. Vanilla, seasoning-wise, is kind of like the salt of the baking world. Unless you're making something vanilla-flavored, it makes other flavors you're using taste more like themselves.
Huh, okay.
Kind of like how, in savory cooking, salt makes things taste more like themselves. So, I want to evenly mix this now.
I'm not sure if that looks delicious or gross.
Grosslicious.
Yeah.
So that is evenly mixed.
No, what was this?
This is the maple syrup. Some sweet, sweet, delicious flavor.
Okay, what kind of maple syrup was that? That came out a lot faster than I expected.
Well, maple syrup is syrup, so it is not thick like honey. It will run quickly. It is just regular old 100% maple syrup.
But usually the maple syrup that I try to shoot out is a lot thicker than that.
Well, I mean, it was whatever the store brand was that day.
Fair enough.
But I can assure you, as long as your syrup says 100% maple syrup, it is good syrup. The maple syrup industry takes their syrup very seriously.
Especially Canadians.
Okay. So now we have this lovely bacon slurry of sweetness. +5. Now, the flour. This is baking after all. Give it, flour will give it its structure and cookiness. Yeah, a little at a time. Mix it in, otherwise you get poofing.
Oh, okay.
Nobody wants it to poof, because then your flour does not end up in your cookies. It goes everywhere else.
Yeah, hear that, internet? Being a poos is bad.
Sometimes, if your flour it is.
Okay, now it's starting to look really good.
Well, it's almost cookie.
Fair enough.
Before it was goo.
Still goo-y, but this looks more edible.
Well, yeah. It's starting to get the structure in it. More flour. If you want exact amounts of things, you're gonna have to read the description below the video.
Baconlovers.com, what was it?
Bacon Today.
Bacontoday.com.
We will also link to the original source of the recipe.
Yeah, the original source has us using
Part
butter?
bacon fat and part butter. We decided to take some liberty and use all bacon fat. Because bacon.
And anytime you see a recipe, a little improvisation is always okay.
As long as you maintain the proper ratios of things. Because baking is chemistry. Delicious, delicious chemistry. Alrighty. Last of our flour.
Oh, and one important thing. Always wash your hands before you do this.
Always wash your hands before cooking. We will have no scummy people and scummy hands. So we want delicious things.
I had to wash my hands, and I'm even behind the camera.
Mm-hmm. Well, you had to wash your hands because we allowed you to touch bacon.
But, fair enough.
Which is a privilege. See, there's a slight amount of poofing around the sides of the flour, but that's just because the bowl's getting really full. You should probably use a bigger bowl than I am, but I don't own a bigger bowl yet, so we're making do. But while improvisation is good, if you've never cooked a recipe before, you should always cook it per the recipe the first time, just so you have a baseline to go off of. Unless you're like a cooking genius, then you can do what you want. We get to improvise, because I have made this once before.
That is true. Blue will not do a recipe she has not performed before videoing at least once.
Unless I decide not to. Which probably won't happen. But maybe. We'll see.
We will mark that on the video whenever that happens.
Or, you know, I'll just loudly announce it. Surprise! Internets, you're
I've
getting
never
to see
done this before.
this for the first time. But this is time number 2 for baking cookies. And the advantage to using these lovely clear glass bowls is you can pick them up and look at the bottom and make sure you got all your flour. You need to do it just a teensy bit more stirring because there's some right there in the middle.
Mm.
As you can see, it's lovely and thick now.
But undone.
Yes, I said it. You can that's what she said. All you want. She will claim it. Alright. We now have delicious bacony cookie dough. This dough, however, before baking, requires a 1-hour rest period minimum in the fridge. Some cookie doughs don't require a rest period. Pretty much all of them will do better with one. So now, through the magic of the internet, we're going to pass an hour with this in the fridge.
Here we go. 1 hour later.
Spoon! Reason for the spoons is the spoons help with pulling the appropriate amount of dough out to make a cookie.
Now, one batch the way we made it can make what do you think? Like you said, like 3-4 dozen?
3 to 4 dozen, depending on how big you make the cookies. A little bigger than that. Like a ball of dough, about yay big. It's a little less than an inch. Look how cute and tasty it is. Then, our fancy granulated maple sugar. Have some in a bowl here. And drop this little bugger in and roll him around.
That's just for flavor, right?
Yeah, looks and flavor. Gives him an interesting texture when he's done.
Okay.
So then you have a coated dough ball. He goes on a parchment-lined cookie sheet.
Now, why parchment? Would anything do, or?
Well, parchment won't burn, and it's also non-stick.
Okay, okay.
A lot of people are like, why not wax paper? It's also non-stick. That is true, but it will burn.
I gotcha.
Parchment is also cleaner. Like, I haven't washed these cookie sheets in months because nothing gets on them.
Sweet.
And using cooking spray, while non-stick, and will work for that purpose, creates a grody residue on your cookie sheets and will eventually ruin them.
Good to know.
It has its uses, but not here. So we will keep making the balls of dough Also, if you notice, you can see the delicious pieces of bacon in there. Ooh. But don't worry. Once they're done baking, the sugar coating won't cover up your lovely view of the lovely bacon. It is preheated. We'll keep doing this until we fill the sheet. This particular size sheet will hold 16 cookies. In case y'all were wondering, this is one of those air pans. It's dual layer. Look underneath, you can see it has 2 layers, so there is an air gap in between. That helps your cookies come out more evenly as the heat distributes better. You will never burn a cookie bottom ever again with one of these, unless you leave it in way too long. But that's why we have timers.
Well, just happy when one of my exes figured out the fire alarm wasn't a timer.
No, the fire alarm is not a timer. The fire alarm is, holy shit, it's burning! Yes, I realize this is way more sugar than we need for this amount of cookies. This is what we use if you were doing the whole bowl at once. We're just going to make y'all a sample. It is, of course, assuming you haven't eaten all the dough by now.
It's still there.
The risk is real. Why do you think I have 2 spoons?
One to scoop, one to slap my hand.
That's what the wooden one's for.
No. The wooden one's the meat stick. There's a joke in there.
Alright, we are halfway through our cookies. And, yeah, just to show you in case you're curious, this is what they would look like without putting sugar on them.
I'll have one without sugar?
I might do a few. Maybe I'll do a row.
Okay.
Alrighty. Last row of cookies. Shall we do another row of regular cookies, another row of naked cookies, or shall we do something special with this last row?
Like what?
I don't know. You're the special person here. Fine, I suppose.
Yay!
Hang on a second. That doesn't open like that. I get another bowl. Look at the cookies. Look at them.
I'm giving someone to be seasick.
Cookie sick?
Yeah.
Is there one sick cookie? Squeeze it.
Good? Or do you want
They're your cookies.
Yeah, okay.
They're getting Old Bayed. You sick puppy.
That moment when you're wondering if someone is should be telling you to stop or not, so you just keep pushing.
Mm-hmm. So, now we have Old Bay sugar. Just sounds weird. It's probably tasty. Alright, we'll roll this cookie in the weird sugar. As you can see, has a slight variance to its speckle.
I'm also laughing because the camera tried to pick up the dough as if it had a face. Jesus is not in the cookie dough. It didn't react, but it's still funny.
Oh. I put a face in the cookie and it doesn't react. I give it a regular cookie and it's like, face. You sure your camera's very smart? You said it was supposed to be a smart camera.
I said I can do smart things. I didn't. There's plenty of people that are really smart but can't open up a doorknob.
On the face side. Maybe it'll bake with the face, probably not. Alright, our last cookie before we stick these puppies in the oven. Alright, we have 16 cookies. 8 regular, 4 naked, and 4 weird cookies.
Obey!
Now, we shall slide them into an oven that is preheated to 350 degrees. And we're going to leave them in there for 10 minutes. So see you kids in 10 minutes. Alright, cookie time. And ba-ba-da-ba.
Funny thing is, you really can't tell which one I put the obey on, unless like we know where it is.
Yeah, you can. These ones have more spots.
I stand corrected.
Hey, and you can still kind of tell I put a face on that one.
Yeah.
Sort of, but not really.
Oh.
Just enough.
It has more dimples than the others.
But yes, behold the gloriousness that is bacon cookie. Bacon and cookie.
And for some photogenics, we got some eggs.
Yep, can't move them yet though, they're still too warm. They smoosh.
Well, internet, when you see the title card of egg, bacons, and a cookie,
Suddenly it will be all clear. You will understand.
Hypnotoad.
Eat cookies for breakfast. They are good for you.
Especially the ones with protein.
You want the cookie for breakfast. All cookies technically have protein because all cookies have eggs. Or an egg substitute.
And that is something to end on. Later, internet.